What scientific breakthrough are we closer to than most people realize? Before we start with the first story, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. Earthquake warning system for up to 2 hours. Permanent GPS antennas are located all over the world and more densely at fault zones. About a year ago, geologists found that if they stacked all historical GPS data proximal to large earthquakes, they saw there is a very small acceleration of the surface about 2 hours before the actual earthquake. We are literally only missing the technology to make even more precise GPS measures, so we can do this in real time on singular regions. It is proven that this is an actual thing that happens, and we can literally warn of earthquakes with a significant time span. This is not a solution or has saved any lives, but it is an absolutely staggering discovery that will have an insane focus in the upcoming years. Story 2. Can't believe I haven't seen it yet, but cell reprogramming via iPSC, and it's already here for some cell types. A very cool Japanese dude got the 2012 Nobel Prize of Medicine for this. He and his team were able to deprogram a specialized cell and reprogram it into a different specialized cell. For instance, a fat cell into a cartilage cell. This will simply be one of the last big medical advances we make. Messed up your lungs? No bother. Get some of your cells, water, and lots of love, and you got a new pair. No compatibility issues, no rejection or meds, potentially inexpensive, mind you. There are challenges and safety concerns yet, as you need to tinker with the cell's DNA in order to do it, which is tricky, and we're very, very far away from functional full organs. But the even more bonkers stuff is already happening. They have tried injecting healthy stem cells in the area of damaged tissue, cartilage, iris, and somehow the pre-existing cells were able to communicate with the new stem cells, repairing that tissue. I can't put enough emphasis on how absolutely stupid this is, how potentially we could repair parts of our bodies that now we can't dream of repairing, and for potentially peanuts. The possibilities are very near limitless if we manage to make them perfectly safe and we get the engineering part right. Story 3. Understanding how hormones and mental illness are linked, especially in women who previously were diagnosed with mental illness but who had endocrine disorders. And to add, menopause. In response to the Lancet's awful claim of over-medicalization, scores of researchers the world over have doubled down to learn more. Know someone who battled with depression and anxiety, and all was gone when for another reason got treated for hypothyroidism. In a few weeks, he was a completely different person. In recent years, there are studies pointing to a relationship between the gut biome and mental health too. We don't know too much yet about how certain body mechanisms interact with the mind. Story 4. I hope something for male pattern baldness, hair thinning, receding hairline, and hair loss in general comes along soon. Losing your hair sucks and can destroy your confidence and cause a lot of stress. Hair transplants here in the US are ridiculously expensive, and traveling to another country like Turkey can save you a lot of money but can be hit or miss. Do your research. Medications like finasteride and minoxidil are available, but once you start, you have to stay on them forever. The possible side effects of finasteride, erectile issues, mood, although these aren't super common, can be a concern. You're also required to be on finasteride in order to get a hair transplant. I'd also like to see advancements in treatment for depression. All the medications I've tried so far have made me emotionally numb and have had sexual side effects. I've heard good things about ketamine and transcranial magnetic stimulation, but insurance companies will do everything to not pay for these, requiring you to try at least 5 medications and other stuff, if I recall correctly. Story 5. The first cancer cure. There will never be a single cancer cure, but we will probably see the first successful end-all cure for a few different types of cancer within the next 20 years, 100%. It's so close we are right there. The leading push in mRNA vaccines makes me happy. The idea is each vaccine will be tailored specifically to each patient. At the base level, all they are doing is taking out your cells that already kill cancer, T cells, and essentially teaching them to recognize a specific protein in your specific cancer, then giving them back to you so your own body can kill the cancer. Your T cells kill cancer all the time. I believe the estimate was every 5 minutes your body kills a cancer cell. It's when these cancer cells hijack the immune system and hide themselves from the T cells when it becomes the cancer that we know. The cancer that grows and consumes. So we're basically trying to just point to where the cancer is at. giving the T cells a briefing first on how to recognize and attack the enemy, because they were tricked into thinking the cancer was normal cells. We send them back in with their new training and they get to work. I think anyway, lol. Story 6. Nanotechnology is quietly advancing, promising breakthroughs in areas like targeted drug delivery, renewable energy, and even pollution control. Nanotech should only be applied to medicinal applications. It has more promise in advancing medicine through drug delivery, as you stated. The idea of nano-based construction is awe-inspiring due to its strength-to-weight ratio, but it is not feasible because it takes way too long to grow or synthesize outside of a lab. Just imagine the ways we could improve the human body by creating a way to have nanocarbon tubes form naturally in our body. Run further, dive deeper, live in more hostile environments, carry more weight, reduce physical injuries, and improve recoveries. Story 7. AI is just a few years out from being able to write programs for better AI, which, in turn, will write better AI. Is this good or bad? Who knows? Either way, we are not prepared for what comes next. When AI becomes better at decision-making and planning than humans, what then? This is no longer an if, but a when. It's either going to usher in a new age of humans where technology develops so fast we achieve things previously thought impossible, or it's going to usher in the last age of humans. We're not talking in the far unknowable future. We're talking you will probably still own the shirt you are currently wearing. Story 8. Physicists and astrophysicists have made incredible leaps in the last 20 years, detecting exoplanets to the point where we can analyze the contents of their atmosphere for presence of biological or technological activity. They are also looking farther back in time towards the beginning of the universe, using infrared and even gravity waves. Where this gets really exciting is that with each refinement of this technology, they are getting closer to solving the discrepancies in physics, such as we still don't know how some elements are made. The smaller ones, like everything lighter than iron, get made in stars through fusion processes. Heavier ones, like gold, get made in supernovas. But there are ones that are too prevalent in the universe than they should be given the amount of energy it takes to create such heavy elements. Cesium, for instance. Point being, they have done like 90% of the work towards a final unified theory. Some are saying that the right application of AI will get us the rest of the way there. But I can tell you that there have been breakthroughs in PV solar and energy storage that will be driving down the cost of that tech and making it more efficient. In the near future, there will just be solar panels everywhere and no power plants. The main barriers to that being trade wars between China and the US. Of course. Story 9. Brain chips will one day be able to enable us to live to age 150 by modulating our DNA dialing gene expression up or down by altering RNA and chemicals and hormones in our body. If coupled with a vitamin implant, we could always operate optimally. It'll eradicate mental illness, a variety of diseases and cancer. We could also alter our conscious state, increase productivity and focus while at work, as well as alter chemistry to relax the US at home. The chip will also be able to link to the internet one day, accessing information and images using our internal monologue to convey. Communicating telepathically would not really be used, as it'll be uncomfortable having an involuntary voice in your head. But near-future cure for HIV, it enters cells using CCR5, delta 32 receptor, and a drug can be developed via RNA to turn off CCR5, delta 32 curing. HIV in your body, they can use CRISPR for this, but that's permanent removal. People without this gene like me are immune to HIV. And if bone marrow is transplanted to people with HIV, it cures it. There's been documented cases. There will be a cure for HIV within a decade. They'll already be working on it as they are developing RNA drugs for other diseases like Alzheimer's. Why is there no news on RNA HIV research? It's likely a secret. Story 10. A manufactured, artificially intelligent, realistic, functional, and programmable romantic partner, what some call a sex bot. For both men and women, they won't really love you, or will they? Programmed emotions and responses aren't real emotions and responses. Or are they? It's going to cause massive upheaval, arguments, and qualia and consciousness. Like Morpheus asking what is real. I think it's going to be great for humanity. Those who truly want to be with another organic being will seek each other out. And those men and women who can never seem to find the person that will treat them right, the way they want and need to be treated, will have options. Will those options be good enough, people wonder? Real or imaginary? the effects are the same. There's a point at which, even if you care about reality, your brain doesn't. Imagine getting a robot boyfriend or girlfriend just to try it, or tide you over until you meet Mr. Right. It's like therapy. You may not think it's working or doing anything, but it is. And before long, you're happy, healthy, not lonely. Maybe you find a real person, maybe you don't, but you're better than you were before. And that is the point. We want to be better. We can choose to be better. We are choosing to be. And those sex partner bots are going to help us get there. And something that is good and useful for humanity, that answers, or attempts to answer, that deep longing need in our soul for love and companionship, it won't stay on the drawing board for long. It's coming, so get ready. It will be glorious. Story 11. We could be within 5 years of making wheelchairs, mobile scooters obsolete. I recently had a spinal cord stimulator implanted to control back pain in my cervical and lumbar areas where I have damaged replaced vertebrae. The technician told me they are successfully testing a type of implant that can actually jump over severed or damaged spinal cord nerves and reconnect the nerves above the break. Imagine the possibilities for accident warfare victims who could be able to walk or move their arms again. Staggering. Story 12. Everything AI related, no one actually seems to understand how fast we are hurtling into a technological breakthrough that will shake the world more than the internet or smartphone ever did. Everyone I talk to IRL about AI will say, sure, AI will be able to do X in a decade or two. Everyone I talk to online or in tech-savvy spaces will say, AI will be able to do X in 2 to 3 years. And then I see AI able to do that thing in months or weeks. Every AI on the consumer market is a crippled, lobotomized version of what they are capable of. If you didn't have to deal with the imposed limitations that companies put on AI, you could literally tell an AI to write a new symphony from Beethoven. Write a fake interview about his thought process behind the piece, have pictures and video of him performing the song, and a good 1 in 5 people would be convinced it was real or at least actors. The idea of this was laughable 10 months ago, and in another 10 months, who knows where we will be with AI. Story 13. Anti-aging and life extension technology. We're not close in the sense of like next year, probably not even in 10 years, but quite possibly in 15 or 20 years. And right now, the median age of humans on Earth is just over 30, and the average life expectancy is over 70, meaning that most people currently alive are going to naturally live long enough to take advantage of these technologies. We don't even need to cure aging completely all at once, because even if we can add, say, 5 healthy years to a person's life, that means they can also wait another 5 years for additional biochemistry research to improve the treatment and give them even more time. This effect compounds surprisingly quickly, assuming that technological progress doesn't stagnate. Even if we don't start taking the actual treatments for another couple decades, this is a change we should really start thinking about now because it's going to impact our lives in a very big way. I know it sounds crazy to talk about in a culture that has become so accustomed to aging and death. But if you wait until it stops sounding crazy before you start talking about it, you probably waited too long. Story 14. I haven't seen it yet, so universal vaccines. mRNA techniques are now being adapted into general RNA therapies to treat a variety of viruses, with what tentatively looks like very promising results. So far, I've seen trials for HIV vaccines, universal flu vaccines, a universal COVID vaccine, and even a universal common cold vaccine. I think within a decade or two, we might actually have a vaccine against virtually every viral infection that's plagued humanity. I'm really hoping the human trials for these go well. RNA targeting tech is so very powerful. Story 15. Endometriosis urine tests. Currently, the gold standard for diagnosing endometriosis is a laparoscopy. But new research has shown that certain proteins in the urine are dramatically increased for women with endo than those without. This means that as early as next year, we could have the first urinalysis test strips developed to diagnose the condition without surgery. Surgery may still be needed for treatment, but countless women will be able to opt for non-invasive treatment options first. This also means the condition can be diagnosed much faster than the current world average of 5 years from onset of symptoms, and women can access treatment much earlier. All right, folks. That's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.